You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum and bring gloom down to the minimum, and have faith or pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said you better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between.
You can dance if you want to.
To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Choreography. Man, they said you better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, no, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Unity of the Oaks. How are you guys doing? Yeah? Are you excited to be here? Yes. Well, I am so grateful to be sharing this very beautiful day with you all. And we have a very special guest in the house, all the way here from San Diego. And we're so grateful that he is sharing his wisdom with us today. So Rev Ken Fendrick is in the house, and Reverend Ken has delivered his many talks in Unity churches in the greater San Diego area. He created Unity of the Trails, which focuses on spreading the unity message outside of the typical church atmosphere. And he's an incredibly dynamic and passionate speaker, and I'm so excited for him to deliver his message on the power of miracles. And we are also incredibly blessed to have Donna Elaine Miller in the house. And she will be leading us in a song today, but before we join in song, we would like to say hello to everyone online, and let's turn and greet our neighbors. And now, Tommy, our welcome video, please.
I am at home in the heart of God. My mind is anchored in the truth. My mind is anchored in the truth. I'm living free in the heart of God. I'm life, I'm love, I'm living proof. I'm life, I'm love, I'm living proof. There can never be separate me when I live in the consciousness of peace. When I let go, I release. I'm living love, I'm living love, I'm living free.
Okay. I'm going to teach you guys a new song. Okay? it once and then we'll sing it together a couple of times. It is everywhere I am. It is everything I see. God's love. God's love. It is breathing in. It is sweet release. God's love. God's love. It is earth and sky. It is mountain and sea. It is everything I am and all I'm meant to be. It is here and now. It is you and me. God's love. God's love. It is everywhere I am. It is everything I see. God's love. God's love. It is breathing in. It is sweet release. God's love. God's love. It is earth and sky. It is mountain and sea. It is everything I am and all I'm meant to be. It is here and now. It is you and me. God's love. God's love. One more time. It is everywhere I am. There you go. It is everything I see. God's love. God's love. It is breathing in. It is sweet release. God's love. God's love. It is earth and sky. It is mountain and sea. It is everything I am and all I'm meant to be. It is here and now. It is you and me. God's love. God's love.
We have arrived. Please join me in an opening prayer. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for this sacred time together. We are so grateful that Reverend Ken and Donna have traveled to be here with us today as they share their love, their light, and their wisdom. We open our hearts and minds to the blessings and the gifts today will bring, and we know that each person will receive exactly what is needed from the service. The presence of the divine is palpable. We feel it with every fiber of our being, and we know that source energy is flowing through each and every one of us at this very moment, and it is constantly expanding throughout this loving container we call Unity of the Oaks. We affirm that this power, this presence, this love, this energy is pouring out into the collective, actively healing our community and the world at large. Thank you for a divinely guided service and a day filled with miracles. And so it is. Amen.
The breath of God. grace in me, and resting in the grace of God, I know that all is well. The love of God is loving me and resting in the love of God. I know that all is well. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well.
Hello? Hello? Okay, great. Good morning. I'm Gail, one of the members of the Unity of the Oaks prayer team, and I will be available to pray with you after service. Just look for me wandering around. Now let's prepare for our time of meditation with the reading of the daily word. The daily word is look ahead. I look ahead with positive expectation. So many things pull at my attention. The things I must attend to, the meetings, the needs of others, and even my own pursuits and passions require my time and attention. Sitting and working towards goals may sound like a dull undertaking, but it's actually an empowering path to spiritual freedom. Working towards a goal helps me focus and keeps me motivated. I call upon and claim my spiritual gifts of imagination in order to set my goal and plan to achieve it. I use my gift of wisdom to discern the best path and my will to make the best choices. This is my way. This is the way I use the power of God to give my life meaning and make my dreams come true. I look ahead, grateful for God's presence within me. Let your eyes look directly forward and let your gaze be straight before you. Keep straight the path of your feet, and all your ways will be sure.
And now we take these divine ideas that were presented in this lovely daily word reading, and we take them into a time of mindful meditation practice. So if you haven't done so, I invite you to get comfortable in your seats, kind of stretch out those muscles that might be kinked a little bit from the morning, wiggle around a little bit, close your eyes if you feel called, or maybe just halfway. And together, let's take a deep collective breath, breathing in, holding it for a moment, and just letting it out, maybe with a sigh or two. And this time we just take another deeper breath, nice and deep, holding it. And as we release this breath, we release all the tensions, the worries, the frustrations, the anxieties, the good things, the bad. We just let them go. Dissipate like the morning fog in Thousand Oaks. Just now syncing up with our own divine rhythm of breathing. nice and relaxed, breathing in and breathing out. Like the Pacific Ocean, rolling in and rolling out. Natural, rhythmic, and in tune with God's timing. Breathing in, breathing out. And with each breath, we feel our minds clear, become blank canvases for the words of Spirit. And so holding this idea of miracles, of looking ahead with faith, we hold on to that feeling of seeing what is ours to do, acknowledging the miracles that are already on their way. So I invite you now to take this affirmation that I'm going to speak and let yourself hear it through your ears, through your mind, and let it settle into your subconscious where it sits and germinates. With my faith, miracles abound throughout my life. With my faith, miracles abound throughout my life. With my faith, miracles abound throughout my life. And now we take the echoes and vibrations of these words in conjunction with our lovely music into a short period of divine silence. In the silence. With my faith, miracles abound throughout my life. So as we move out of this time of silence, I invite you to stay connected with that relaxed breathing, that sense of comfort and peace. I invite you now to open your eyes when you're ready. Maybe wiggle those fingers and toes and come back into this present moment, refreshed and ready. And we just give thanks for this time with Spirit. And we say, Amen. It is so.
Imagine how God can sing, how his voice delights the universe in a range that blends eternally into chords of his love. Imagine how God can dance, moving gracefully up to our hearts, to invite us to be intimate and sharing his joy. And imagine how God must feel if we move back away from him to design our own destinies, living lives of desiring and fear. Then imagine God's happiness when a wandering the peace that only He can give, for the strength He grants to truly live. And when the choice is made to look to Him and finally draw near.
Wow, thank you so much, music team. What a way to start. I mean, just walking up here on the platform after that, and just put me in such a great space. So I really love and appreciate you. I would love to thank Reverend Sherry Hersey, who's my great friend and ministerial colleague, for inviting me here to speak again, as well as the many hands and the many hearts that went to make this time and service possible. And to all of you who made the trip out here on a Sunday. It's so great to be reunited, isn't it? On this great day. Last time I was here, it was pouring down rain, and I remember I was going to be leading a nature hike, and it just wasn't happening. So I still owe you all for that, too. But, yeah, again, thank you all for that. And, you know, I got to say, it's really, really a miracle that I'm here with all of you today. Let me explain. Yesterday, I woke up early and left a little bit later than I wanted to from San Diego. That's my usual rigor. I'm always running late, it seems like. And so I traversed the 52, the 805, the 5, the 73, the 405, and the 118 to conclude it. 174 miles, folks. 174, with 3 to 5 lanes of big rigs to cycles in various states of upkeep, hurling down the road at various rates of speed and consistently moving back and forth. Behind these moving hunk of composites of mechanics, shape, and style were distracted drivers, drunk drivers, impatient drivers, impaired drivers, angry drivers, sad drivers, stone drivers, tired drivers, blind drivers. And within that mix were also experienced and inexperienced drivers, old and happy drivers, rockin' drivers, that's me, and thoughtful and focused. There were also the lane campers and the lane crazy, all moving along in some kind of vague harmony within a greater psychotic symphony. Very poetic for the freeways of California, don't you think? It was truly a marathon of miracles that brought me here and all of you here today. So what I'd like to do is take a deeper dive into what a marathon of miracles really is. What do you mean? What do I mean by that? What it is and how we can experience God's flow of good in our lives. And I think of this like more or less when viewing this marathon of miracles as a TV marathon. Have you ever watched a TV marathon? Like they'd have a Star Trek marathon. I love those, the Twilight Zone marathons. They'd have the Friends marathon, you know, in the 90s. And currently, what do we have? Netflix, right? Netflix. And so you're sitting there on your TV watching your Netflix, and you're just there, and the show ends, and what happens? You get the clock, right? The countdown. Hey, next show coming up in 30 seconds. Wanna stay tuned. And you're going at 1 o'clock in the morning, yeah, I think I can do another hour. Even though you have to get up and work the next day, or you got something to do. Yeah, what the heck? You know, I'm going to finish this series. And a lot of us do that these days. They make it so easy. So anyway, what I'd like to do is take a quick moment and uncover the nature of a miracle. So we've established this idea, kind of like a Netflix, show that these miracles, we look at the miracles in our lives that are happening, they come in this procession. I like to think of them as a string, so like one after the other, and they just kind of flow. So the nature of what a miracle is, I want you to take a moment and just think about that. What is a miracle to you? What constitutes a miracle? Something totally unexpected?
Almost impossible to believe, that it could be a coincidence.
Right? Good one. Good one. Anybody else have any thoughts on miracles, what that means to you? Absolutely. Wow. I love that. I love that. Beautiful. Those are all right answers. All right answers. So the definition from Webster and our revealing word is this. According to our revealing word, is everybody familiar with what the revealing word in unity is? Yes? No? It's a glossary of metaphysical terms or spiritual terms defined. And Charles Fillmore created this years ago. And so it's a way of, in unity we talk about metaphysics. And instead of looking at like the Bible or characters of the Bible and things like that, literally, they're more represent archetypes and how the unfoldment of our consciousness can proceed. So we can look at these definitions of like characters in the Bible or spiritual ideals, look at these, and it enables us to take a deeper dive and really look at and explore how they can help us understand our own spirituality. So I invite you to check it out. There's a site called truthunity.net. You can get a lot of these materials for free and a lot of good Unity stuff there. That's a plug, Mark Hicks. You're welcome. Anyway, miracles defined as an event or effect in the physical world beyond or out of the ordinary course of things, deviating from the known laws of nature or transcending our knowledge of these laws. That's the Webster definition. But in reality, miracles are events that take place as a result of the operation of a higher unknown law. And so in unity, we view God as principle. And I know it's hard to get around, but not a man upstairs, dispensing good and deeds and, dispensing our requests. No, we view it as divine law or principle. These laws we can work, right? Like cause and effect, that kind of thing. So in reality, we say miracles are events that take place as a result of the operation of a higher unknown law. All true action is governed by law. Nothing just happens. So when we talk about divine order, all happenings are the result of cause and can be explained under the law of cause and effect. Mighty things have been wrought in the past by those who had mere blind faith to guide them. To faith we now add understanding of the law. And that's why we come here. With a lot of the metaphysics, the classes we take, when we're studying and hearing these truths, we're studying this idea of law and knowing these laws and how they can improve our lives. Our achievements will be a fulfillment of the promise of Jesus, our master teacher. He that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do. That's the promise to us. If we work this and acknowledge this, we all have that ability. We all have that same ability as our brother, master teacher Jesus had to do these things. What did he do with his disciples? He taught them this. And what did they do? They went out into the multitudes and performed these miracles. Can you raise the dead? Maybe. Maybe not a body per se, but you have the power to resurrect a failing relationship, right? By forgiveness and making calls and praying over it, right? You have the power to increase your prosperity, what? By having a prosperity consciousness. So this is the power he's giving us. So would you like to know how we can enter and experience this miracle marathon? You ready for some actionable steps, right? Something, hey, Reverend Ken, get with it. How's this going to improve my life? So the first thing we need to do, folks, take a dramatic drink of water. Instead of a drum roll, this is like the dramatic pause. You take a drink of water and people are waiting what you're going to say next. What we need to do, first of all, is cultivate a miracle mindset. Everybody say that. Cultivate a miracle mindset. That's what we're going to do. So our guiding scripture today is from Job chapter 5, verses 8 through 9 in the World English Bible. And this is Job talking, and he says, "But as for me, I would seek God. I would commit my cause to God, who does great things that can't be fathomed, marvelous things without number. And so I invite you, we're going to be looking at these a little deeper as we go through the steps, but this idea of committing your cause to God, what does that mean to you? It sounds like prayer to me, right? Take it in prayer, committing that cause to God, that desire, expressing our desire in faith. And then having that faith that it's like our first unity principle. There's only one power, one presence in our lives and in the universe, active, God the good. Having that faith that that good is always working for us. So Job in this instance represents that shift of consciousness, the consciousness of the, I'm right, I know how to do it all better, I'm going to do it my way. How does that turn out for us most of the time? Doesn't turn out very good for me. I'm right consciousness to a consciousness of surrender and a willingness to co-create with Spirit. How about that? That probably works a little better. So there's usually three ways to cultivating a miracle mindset. The first way is developing a possibility perspective. That's a mouthful. Say that really fast 3 times. Possibility perspective. So in this perspective, we're encouraged to shift from impossible to putting a little comma there and saying, I'm possible. With God, I'm possible. Through God, I can make this happen. In Matthew 19, chapter 26, Jesus, our elder teacher, says, with man it is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. All things. One of my favorite parts of Genesis in the beginning was the very first part that preceded creation. In the beginning, there was a formless void. It was just stuff floating around. And then that spirit of truth uttered, let there be light. And that's went with me throughout my life, because when things are going askew or a little jabberwocky or I'm not clear about something, I like to take those words into meditation. Let there be light. Let my understanding be illumined. Let me have a deeper perspective on what's going on. Help me to see. I have this I Ching image at my house, and it says, chaos, where brilliant dreams are born. It's that realm of possibility. And if your life is in flux, something's going, everything's just going, oh my gosh, what's going on? This is happening, that's happening. Something is getting ready to be birthed, something great. And that's where we need to develop this possibility, this idea of this possibility perspective. And this is along the lines of hope, because with hope, they're the little lenses, the little seedlings in this chaos that can grow with the watering of faith. And while I'm on the subject of faith, that's our next step, faith. The metaphysical meaning of faith in the revealing word says the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance and spiritual assurance. It's the power to do the seemingly impossible, and it is a magnetic power. It draws unto us our heart's desire. That's committing our cause to Spirit, like we talked about earlier. It draws unto us our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. Faith is a deep inner knowing. For that which sought is already ours for the taking. And we're gonna look into that a little further when we go into the next step. And it's backed up by Hebrews 11. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for. Yes, say that again.
The evidence of things not yet seen.
Yes, we know the people who are doing our Bible study. That's awesome. Yes, the evidence of things not seen. That's huge. And in creating miracles, it is an essential step. We can't get around that. Right? So affirmative prayer, when we talk about that, we believe that it's already being done. And that's moving us right into affirmative prayer. And I want you to think about something. Did you know, I'm going to share something with you. The universe is always working on your behalf. Did you know that? Did you really know that and understand that? Always working on your behalf. Call it God, call it universe, call it divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it. Always working on your behalf. 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. I don't know how many minutes. I didn't go that far in the math, but always working on your behalf, whether we choose to accept it and receive it or not. So I want to make a point that affirmative prayer is not us influencing God or the universe like some little 2-year-old poking when we're praying for something, tugging on God's sleeve, going, God, 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 can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? Over and over and over again. No. Rather, prayer helps us purify our mindset. Purify our mindset so we'll not only be helped to experience miracles, but also be channels of blessing and helping to others to experience theirs. So again, it's basically, in a nutshell, it's getting out of the way of spirit, clearing our minds, clearing our anxieties, clearing our stuff, and just letting it flow, letting it happen, establishing ourselves into that divine flow of energy and receptivity. So in the case of miracles, they just don't happen by chance. They are produced by God working through a receptive consciousness. So we have to be willing to receive. The other part of this is awareness and appreciation. And so awareness is just being, miracles are possible, having that idea of possibility. Being aware of the small things, looking at your life. Even somebody said their body, their DNA. Who is it that shouted that out? That was great because, we can start with these small things like our bodies. If we want to see changes in our bodies, if we're looking for a miracle in our health, we can start by the simplest things, acknowledging the wonder and magnificence of how our bodies are made. The way the cells come together and organs and your brain and how the synapses all fire and all these things that have to work together for a healthy body. These are things that we can start with. Maybe our finances, maybe, we're not feeling so good about our finances, but we find we're short a couple bucks for coffee, and we found a $5 bill sitting on the sidewalk. Some call it serendipity. I would call it a miracle. So we don't judge miracles by their size, in other words. Don't judge them by their size. Acknowledge the small things, the small miracles. And the bigger ones will follow. Sometimes with a person that's down on their luck, $5 seems like $1 million, if it's just enough to get a sandwich. So again, these types of things we can acknowledge and accept. And that can be part of our prayer process, I think many of us have a gratitude process already that we start with, right? And just being grateful for what we have. So as we enhance our connection with our divine source, through prayer, we begin to witness the miraculous in the mundane. Witness the miraculous in the mundane. And we open ourselves to the wonder and the beauty of God's work in our lives. Each day we live as a renewed opportunity to believe, to affirm, and to be part of the miracles that are unfolding in our life each and every day. When we embrace the miraculous through our attributes of possibility, perspective, and faith, and our affirmative prayer, we experience the miracle marathon of the divine activity in our world. You, all of you are now, all of us, are in the flow of our miracle marathon. And like Netflix, the universe is sending you a message right now. Your next miracle begins in 30 seconds. Would you like to continue? God bless you all. Namaste.
I want some room. takes over, telling me hold on, just when I feel like I can't take it. Something inside me says you gotta be strong in your faith. The miracle's on its way. Believe what you pray and keep keeping on, because faith says move that mountain. Just move it, trust. Faith says move that mountain. Just move it, trust. Faith says move. I can remember nights when I felt like I couldn't see the sun come up another day. Spirit was all I had. Spirit is all you need to get you through, even when you can't see. But I say the miracle's on its way. So believe what you pray and keep keeping on, because faith says move that mountain. Just move it, trust. Faith says move that mountain. Just move it, trust. Faith says move. Oh, be strong in your faith. The miracle's on its way. Believe what you pray and keep keeping on, 'cause faith says move that mountain. Move it, just move it, trust. Faith says move that mountain. Move it, just move it, just because faith says move that mountain. Move it, just trust. Faith says move that mountain. Move it, just move it, trust. Faith says move. Thank you.
That's one of Donna's songs. She wrote that one.
Hello. We have a miracle there. And the music team is miraculous. That was beautiful. Hello, I am Lucy, your board member of the day. Here is our mission, if you will please read it with me. Unity of the Oaks is a loving, accepting, and heart-centered spiritual community here to be love in action, to encourage personal growth, awaken spiritual curiosity, and transform lives. Well, I can't quite read it. If you would like to bless us with a love offering, we have several ways for you to do it. In the seat in front of you are envelopes or check. No, are envelopes for cash or check. Make sure to include your name if you'd like a record of your donation. You'll also find our text to give information. At any given time, you can visit our website to give. If you've given electronically, bless the basket, then pass it along. Now, let's take a moment to focus our attention on our giving heart as we feel the abundance of receiving. We visualize the mission statement coming to life. Now, please join me in the love offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I believe in love and I trust God. Amen. We are most grateful for all your contributions in our community as we grow it with lots of events and classes, which is what Betsy is going to tell you about.
Lucy and Mr. Paws are a hard act to follow. He was checking out the whole stage. He must spell God. He smells God, yeah. It's another busy week at Unity of the Oaks. We have the Fire Relief Fund, which was established by the Service Outreach and Committee, Love in Action, to offer ongoing support for first responders and families affected by the recent fires as they move throughout the ongoing recovery process. Our initial efforts will go towards immediately supporting first responders and the families impacted by these fires. Our initial project will support the United Methodist Pacific Palisades Church and the Ventura Fire Foundation. The details will be provided. To support these organizations, please donate by February 9th, that's next Sunday. Volunteers will help you with the donation process after church if you should need that. Join Ralph Wilkerson for a bi-monthly class on a book called A Course in Miracles at Unity of the Oaks. The class meets the first and third Wednesdays of the month, starting Wednesday, February 5th, from 5:30 to 6:30. We will have Ralph come up shortly for a brief introduction into that course and what it's all about. Get your midweek meditation fix on Wednesday at 7 p.m. this week with Reverend Sherry, Rick, and Jack Lee. We are hosting a potluck at Unity of the Oaks on February 7th at 6 p.m. Bring your favorite dish. Grief Group is led by Valerie Kobabe, and she will be meeting at 12:30 on February 14th at Unity of the Oaks. All are welcome to join. She does a really good job, by the way. We are changing the date of the Valentine's Day concert from the 14th to Saturday, February 15th at 7 p.m. here at Unity of the Oaks. Join us for the fun evening of live music, dancing, and more. Sherry and Rick will be putting on quite a good concert. Join Valerie Kobabe again as she hosts a vision board workshop to follow service on February 16th. We will have tables and supplies set up for the service for anyone who's interested in that. And as a reminder, if you have not signed up with a public book publishing consultation with Bruce Brown, please contact him or Summer after the service. For all the information that we have, you can go online to our email and newsletter. And here is Summer.
I would just like to start off by thanking Reverend Ken so much. Your message was exactly what the universe ordered, and isn't that a miracle within itself? So thank you so much. And Donna, oh my goodness, your music is beautiful. It is so gorgeous, right? Thank you for sharing your love and your light with us, and thank you for traveling to be here today. Also, I would now like to call up Ralph Wilkinson to briefly discuss his Course in Miracles class. So I'm going to hand it off to Ralph.
Thank you. I just want to say thanks to Sherry and the board for allowing me to do this course. Is it on? In the last few months, I've been thinking how much I wanted to share the course. So this opportunity to share this, I just can't thank you enough. It's really means a lot to me too, because as I share it with you, believe me, I grow, and that's what I want to do. I continue. And by the way, I have this. What timing to be doing this, starting this week with Course in Miracles? So it tells you. I mean, there's something happening really at this church. It's really exciting to be a part of it. You know, I fell out of the church there at COVID and really got to the point of feeling, you know, I remember I don't need it. You know, I just don't need it, right? And I think Sherry helped me see last week how much, you know, when you fall into that, yeah, that is the ego that says I can live in isolation, you know. And I realized I want community. I mean, the world has just gotten to that point where we really need that relief, right? From whatever's going on, there's something more blissful and more miracle. I wanted to say, too, I just looked this up. There's 37 trillion cells working together in perfect harmony to make you happy. 37 trillion. And just think every one of them. Just for goodness sake, every one of them. Maybe, thank you. So anyway, I did want to, I don't know if she was going to bring this up. I did want to show that slide. Are we going to show anything? I did want to introduce my course that I hope you'll think about participating in. I do want you to see the woman, a picture of the woman that wrote, or actually I wouldn't say wrote, the woman that is responsible for this course. There she is, Helen Schuckman. Now, I want to point out something right away, is that when you look at this book, you just have to really think, how could there not be the name who wrote the book on it? How could that be? She didn't want her name on it. I tell people here, see if you can find who wrote the book. She wouldn't let them tell them at her funeral that she had written the book. She felt a voice that communicated this book to her. And we'll talk, one of the things we'll look at in our early course is we'll hear a tape of herself. And you can decide for yourself the authenticness of that. Where did that message come from? I mean, you have to decide, you know, that this is something worth investigating. Because, you know, here's the thing, too. I want to encourage you to think about this course, because what this does is it teaches you how to use this text. Because I'll tell you, most of us, and I know I'm included, that when I first looked at this, I said, this is too much for me. I can't really understand it. And so I found unity. And I found a way to study this course with Jimmy and studied it for probably 2 years. And just reading it in group, you start to understand it. So I just encourage you to do that, because reading it together, I don't know if you've ever done it, but I did a Bible study for many years too, and I read the Bible in group, and that's when I finally was getting it. It's just hard to do by yourself. So think about, this is a time to know how to use this book. The next slide, I did want to share with you too. I think that's something that's really important, is to understand, because I think there's the misidea of this, any idea that this could be a cult. You really have to look at it. It's just not true. This is a message that, just remember, Sherry supports, Unity Church supports, so that tells you something. But I want you to see here, she did feel like this was a voice of Jesus. This is a Christian message. And I think that's really important, because the first, I could tell you, I've looked through this whole course, and I've never found a single contradiction with my Christian upbringing. Now, the last thing I want to share with you a little bit is, you know, when she wrote this book, she was a professor at a Columbia University, psychology, department chair. She was not going to church. She was not religious at all. Her mother, though, was. So I do have to tell you, she had a Christian upbringing, and that's key. I mean, her mother was very devout. But anyway, she reached a point as a psychologist at the top university and said to her friend, if we're not that happy and we are not really, we're having conflict, something's wrong. Because we should be top in our field. We should be happy. So she simply said to him, there's another way. And that first slide was saying that. She said, there's another way. So I do want you to understand that this is something to look at, this book. And most of us do feel it overwhelming to do yourself. So what I want to do is offer what Jimmy did, which is just letting you know how to use this book. I am never going to claim to know the answers. I will always direct you to the book, because the answers are in here, not in me. And I just hope you'll really consider the course. Wednesdays, 5:30. Every other week.
Thank you so much, Ralph. Again, this course meets the first and third Wednesday at 5:30 to 6:30, so definitely make sure to check it out. So the last couple things I'd like to say is that we have a sign-up sheet in the back if anyone is able and willing to offer a service, providing a room, washer and dryer, providing a charger, a shower, especially because of the recent fires. We had a lot of people that lost power, and there's a lot of people in our congregation that are willing to offer their homes, their, facilities, their utilities, their Wi-Fi. So definitely, if you are one of those people that would like to offer a service, go and sign up at the sheet on the back, and we will contact you with further information shortly. Also, Tommy, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, but we now have a phone tree. So again, after the fires, the service outreach and the prayer chaplains have been working super closely together, and they've been working so hard to ensure that the congregation is supported and everyone is cared for in the event of an emergency. So how this works is that each prayer chaplain has chosen a point person or 2 point people to help them make calls to all of the members that are assigned to them and check in on each individual in the event of emergency. And we know that you may know your prayer chaplains, but you may not know their point people that they've chosen. So we've asked each of these point people to reach out to you, make themselves known, make an introduction, just in case, again, in the event of an emergency, one of these people might be contacting you. And if you have further questions about how this is, works, you can always see me. I can chat about it with you after service. And next slide, please, Tommy. It's birthday Sunday. So happy February birthdays. We have Rudy Cerna on the 3rd, Janet Robinson on the 5th, Martha Harris on the 8th, Juan Ross on the 14th, Tracy Williams on the 15th, Jane Brown on the 20th, Rick Fellows on the 22nd, and Lucia Blanco on the 26th. So do you think we could sing a little happy birthday? Happy February birthdays. And this is all I have for you. Thank you again, everyone. And let's sing our peace song and get ready for fellowship.
The light of God surrounds us. The light, the love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.